this had to be the saddest chapter of One Piece that we've gotten in just a very long time, and the way... God damn it, like, we all knew Corazon, or Rocinante, I'll call him Rocinante, but we all knew Rocinante was going to die, but the way it was done was just so sad, and how he's been built up for a good month, I think. Well, through these chapters, it really is sad. And before I get into the death of Rocinante, which just, for me, God, I was tearing up, man. It was really sad. The way it was done was just great, and with this, I think it's either one more chapter, because there was, when Rocinante, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but when Rocinante ultimately died, the effect of his devil fruit wore off on Law, so now he can be heard, and he's not that far away from the Don Quixote ship, so they could hear him, and that could cause some problems, or else it's in the same panel, so I mean, we'll see. Maybe the Marines, maybe Sengoku and his team will... If Sengoku's there, I'm not really sure. Because Suru, I think her name, the old Vice Admiral, she's there. Like, her ship is heading towards Doflamingo at this point in time. Okay, so that's probably going to cause conflict in the next chapter. Okay, with what I want to talk about in the beginning, before I get to the Rocinante stuff, which again, fucking sad. In a good way, like, it was really, okay. We saw a brief flashback in Doflamingo, flashbackception, with when Doflamingo ultimately killed his father. Now, we see that he met Virgo and Trable first. And Trable, from the way it was, well, Trable, he taught, or rather, talk to Doflamingo about his haki and how he can use it. And then Trable said something like, giving him an ability, so maybe that's his string fruit, but then again, he could have, unless he didn't master it yet, like, he could have just sliced his own father's head off, but he shot him instead, so, I mean, it's probably the string fruit, but it could be, something else, maybe a form of haki, which would be kind of, what the fuck, but, haki, it's supposed to be expanded, huh? Okay, but, with Doflamingo, this just, even though, he killed Corazon, and Corazon at this point, he's in my, top 20 or top 10 favorite characters. I'll say top 20, but, like, he's awesome, and Doflamingo killed him, which... I'm just, oh god damn it, Doflamingo, fuck, you killed an awesome, funny character, but at the same time, it keeps building Doflamingo up to be a freaking badass. I mean, a lot of people are starting to dislike Doflamingo. Me, I just keep loving him, like, every freaking chapter, because he's awesome. He's an awesome villain. I love his backstory, just his brutality, the way his own father, he was tearing up, saying that he's sorry that they had to have a father like him, and then even as Rocinante was just screaming and crying to telling Doflamingo to stop, he didn't. He just shot his own father, regardless of Rocinante just sitting right there. And with that, Rocinante, he's found by Sengoku, and that's ultimately how he is recruited into the Marines. And again, I'm gonna keep backtracking. I saw something very interesting, and I did not notice this because I was reading this in school, and I had to have, the screen really small because, get punched in the face. Oh no. But Dory, this had me confused because it looked like he was with the Barrel Pirates or something. I'm not sure what they're called. The other pirates on the island. And, he was running away from one of the other recruits or soldiers in that group of pirates who were asking for help. And I did not notice this. I heard a lot of people talking about this, and like, of course, I'm not gonna say it's my own since everyone's talking about this, but I just felt the need to mention this. Dory is ex-Drake. He's probably ex-Drake, and with he had that mythical devil fruit, the T fucking Rex, the dinosaur. So if that, because okay, so Dory was the strongest of the bunch, or ex-Drake, and again, I believe this because I did see the chin scar, like that's one thing right there, and the captain had like that triple double chin going on there, so he looks a lot like ex-Drake's chin. So yeah, that it's probably ex-Drake. I mean, but if it is ex-Drake, the fact that, because we've seen Birdcage and how no one can break out of it. Like, remember, like everyone's trying to break out of it and they just can't. Ex-Drake, if he could, he must be like, if he could really break Birdcage, he must be very powerful. That's a stretch, because we remember at like Shibodi he got like fucking fodderized by a pacifista, but if he could actually break Birdcage, that'd be awesome. Like that'd be crazy. So where X-Drake is today, because I heard he's like a subordinate under Kaido, he may be insanely powerful. Like, who knows? Okay, enough on X-Drake. Rocinante. What? It was so funny because when he got noticed, he was just just trolling them, and that was funny. But with this, I gotta stop crying, man. I can't cry. When Rocinante, he was laying it with all of the brothers of the nerd of the Don Quixote pirates, and with Rocinante just sitting there and literally telling Doflamingo, oh, law, he ate the devil fruit, and reading the Marine Code, and how it looks like he's talking to Doflamingo, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want you to hate me. It looks like he's talking to Doflamingo, but in the meantime, he's actually talking to Law. He's indirectly talking to Law at this point in time. And it just sucks because they had their last conversation like before, Rocinante died. And what was really touching is that, he didn't want Law to worry. He just kept saying, oh, it'll be fine, Doflamingo, I mean, he's my brother after all, I'll be fine. And the way he just left Law off saying, I love you, that was just so touching, how he didn't want Law to worry. And this is the first time in an insanely long period of time where, again, and we see this, like, someone's actually showing affection towards Law, and someone's, because Rocinante, he can either be seen as a brotherly figure, or I'd say more of like a fatherly figure towards Law, and just seeing that was insanely sad. And with Rocinante, with his speech about, and I find it really convenient that, well, Dory, fucking ex-Drake, went to the Marines, and, they thought that was Law, so I guess this is how ex-Drake got into the Marines. Okay, but with Rocinante saying, oh, why do you want Law? Just let him be free. He's defied everything, like everything, because he's a fucking D. He's defied his short lifespan. Just let him be free, and then he gets shot. And this is sad because Rocinante just died, and seeing that was so freaking sad. It builds up Doflamingo again to be a badass, because, and Rocinante, the way I see it, ultimately he couldn't pull the trigger because he's a lot like his own father. Because if his father wanted, unless Doflamingo conquers Haki, if his father wanted, he could have put up a struggle and begged for his life, or just try to beat the hell out of Doflamingo. I don't see why. He was a little midget back then, but he had King's Haki. But okay, he's a lot like Corazon. God damn it, fucking Rocinante. He's just like his father in the sense that he didn't really want to hurt Doflamingo at all. And while he does still seem as pretty much a monster, he may have some love for him left. But Doflamingo, no. It also builds up Doflamingo to be still a badass character because he killed his father and he killed his own brother like it was nothing. He did it easily, without a second thought. And again, it builds up his brutality. And I can't wait until we see more fighting between Luffy and Doflamingo, and Law as well. But now going in further, because with this, there's not too much to talk about. Well, after this moment, there's nothing that much to talk about. Law escapes from that treasure chest, and now he's walking throughout this, where they Swallow Island, I believe, just completely silent as he's letting out his sadness and his tears, and Jesus Christ, and we see Corazon saying in one final panel, "You are now truly free," and he's talking about how no more White City, he doesn't have any of this restricting him. Once he, works on his devil fruit, he can cure himself. So now Law is truly free. And that's when Corazon just dies. Ugh. And as the snow is falling on him, I guess that could also be seen or symbolized as Law's white spots from the amber lead poison. So, I mean, it could be seen as that. And how Corazon, he did all of this for Law. It's so sad. It's really sad. And that's the chapter. I really loved it. I thought it was a great chapter. Fantastic. Amazing. Fan-frickin-rific. Awesome fucking yes. And honestly, with this flashback, it's gonna be weird going back to real time because this flashback has actually been brutal. I mean, mostly due to Doflamingo. Plus, people are dying. I mean, Doflamingo, he killed his father. He killed X-Drake's father, or so we can assume, and he killed his own brother. And going further in the going back to real time, that's not gonna happen because once we go to flashback, anyone can die. But real time, no. People don't die in real time except Whitebeard and Ace. But still, okay. Great chapter. And yeah, I was gonna say I'm probably not gonna make a Bleach review today. We'll do it next week. I'll make a chapter review of Bleach next week, but I don't really have time. So, alright, see ya.